Hello and welcome to Where the Road Rises with me, your host, Eileen Curlin-Walsh. At Curlin-Walsh Law, we try to live by Maya Angelou's wise words: when you know, teach; when you get, give. This show is our teaching and helping local charity is our giving. In 2015, we provided legal services to a passionate and dynamic young mother, Sarah Galvin, helping transform her grassroots, boots on the ground help to the homeless into a 501c3 non-for-profit organization. Since then, Almost Home Chicago has grown to become a trusted and valued community partner. Its founder, Sarah, dubbed the Mother Teresa of Oak Lawn, has been featured in newspaper articles and TV programs, distinguished for working hand in hand with the community she serves on the streets and under the bridge if necessary. Almost Home lives and breathes its mission statement to be the hands, the feet, the voice of hope, providing food, clothing, shelter, jobs, and love to those who need it most. Although Almost Home primarily helps single parents, domestic violence victims, those in financial hardship, and the homeless, all are welcome to apply because, as Sarah is quick to remind us, everyone needs a little help sometimes. Here in the studio today to tell us more about Almost Home and how we can help them fulfill their mission and vision is Almost Home President Lara Batchelor. Welcome, Lara, to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Lovely to have you here, Lara. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Almost Home, how it began, and its founder, Sarah?
So Almost Home, we've been around for 4 years, just had our 4th birthday, and it was the vision of Sarah Galvin, and I believe she was around 17 when she had her first visions of creating Almost Home. 4 years ago in March, she met 4 gentlemen at the intersection of 87th and Cicero, some homeless gentlemen looking for assistance, and that is truly the day that we began. As she tells it, she went straight to research on how to start her nonprofit organization, and Sarah actually panhandled in the street for the first $1,200 that she needed to set up the organization.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And how did you come to Almost Home, Lara?
So it's actually a really long story, but I started helping about 1.5 years ago. Sarah had put a call out for people to do what we call Bus Stop Love, which is bringing warm weather gear throughout the city into the bus shelters and leaving them for whoever would need them. But it started years ago with some help that I received when my son was going through a very difficult time. And I always said that, you know, when we got through that, then I would do everything that I could to give back. So. Yeah, there was many strangers and many people that got us through the darkest times. And when the sun came out again, it just happened that I saw a Facebook post for Sarah, and her words and just the way that she spoke about the community is really what gets all of us going and really motivates us to do something. So
when you got, you gave.
Yes.
And both you and Sarah bring very personal backstories to the organization.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little about what it does, Lara. Let's talk about some of the programs. Let's start with your Pending Meal program.
Yes, so Pending Meals has been around for a little over a year also. Sarah had seen an article about Naples, Italy, and what happened was in cafes, people would come in and they would buy a coffee for themselves and then buy 4 for other people that came after them. So pending, you know, I'll take 1, 4 for whoever needs it. So anybody that wanted to come in and get a cup of coffee, there was always there for them. So she wanted to transfer that into a way for us to help the food insecure. And we started with Beggars in Oak Lawn on 100th and or 102nd and Central. So for $5, you can go into any of our partner restaurants and you can just essentially buy a meal for somebody in advance.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And then we go and we pick them up, pick up all the vouchers, distribute them to people on the streets, people asking for assistance, the shelters.
And then they just take that voucher in and they are given the meal.
They're given the meal.
And that's huge for the partners to do that, because that means not only, that means that they're welcoming the homeless into their business environment, which has to be a challenge for the program.
It is, and that is the absolute best part about the Pending Meal Program. Our partners is that they don't have to just take their meals out the back door and go eat outside. All of our clients are welcome to dine in the restaurant. So it is difficult. We now have 3. So we have Beggars. We also have Smiling Clydes in the Oak Lawn Library, which is where a lot of our homeless clients spend their days, and also Grisano's Pizzas on 87th Street in Oak Lawn. So it's just a way for the whole community to come together, because we do have people say, I don't want to give them money. We get that. We don't want to give them cash because we know where it's going, and we don't. So this is a way for our community to get together and help without feeling that they're giving for something they don't want to give for.
Yeah, and what you're referring to, I'm sure, is that many people believe people are homeless because of addiction to alcohol and drugs. And you don't gloss over that aspect of the homelessness. So let's talk a little bit about your community outreach as far as addictions are concerned. What do you have in place for that?
So we have a new program. We just, a lady named Patty Ellison came to us some time ago looking to start a drug prevention outreach program. Patty lost her son, Aiden, at the age of 22 to an opioid overdose a little over a year ago. So she came to us looking for a way to reach out to, to our families and our active users. We thought about starting it, but when Patty had come to us, it really took off. So she hit the ground running. Almost Home Chicago, we are a state certified drug overdose prevention program. So we are certified. We just held our 4th seminar, community seminar, where we allow people to, we teach them on drug overdose, we teach on prevention, and we also certify in the use of naloxone. You probably hear it as a Narcan, but it's a different variation, to be able to help and to be able to save a life in the event of an overdose. So these are, really huge things that we're doing, and, really just trying to get out there and make sure that our families know that we're there.
Right. So what I'm hearing is the organization doesn't just exist to try to prevent homeless, to try to maybe help people come away from addictions. You're there right beside them when they are homeless, to help them be in a better place during their homelessness, or to be a little safer during their addiction. And that's huge, because I think most of us think of these organizations, cure, prevent, eliminate, whereas you are much more realistic about they're there, they're on the streets, they have these problems, let's help them where they are. And certainly Sarah has the reputation for going under the bridge. She will sit under the bridge and eat a meal with the people who live there.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of what our community looks at Sarah, is because we don't go out and say, we're only going to help you if you do this. It's just exactly what you said. We meet them where they are. So if you're there, we have a lot of gentlemen in our bridge communities that do not go to the shelters for very valid reasons. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve the support and the assistance and the love. Every single person truly deserves to know that someone else knows they exist. So we're not there to tell them what they're doing wrong or what they should do. We're there to be able to support them and just love on them as they are. And that's the beauty of what we do, is that it's truly one-on-one outreach with those who need it.
And you mentioned awareness of the community and people knowing they're there, and maybe bringing the community of people who are homeless together. And that's part of your spiritual outreach program.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So we just, actually my pastor from my church, Reverend Larry Paris of the First United Methodist Church of Evergreen Park, joined Almost Home not too long ago, and we have started offering communion at our shelter events. So we do, as an ordained minister, he can offer communion and also baptism. So his vision, along with Sarah's many years ago, was to bring services and worship to where people need it most. You know, our homeless people are not coming into the church. We still have a very negative stigma about, you know, the homeless population. So this June 1st, in fact, at 6 o'clock, we will be holding our first service underneath the Bridge community. We've opened it up to everybody in a hope that, you know, that first of all, that everybody's a child of God is the premise on that. So we really want to make sure that any person who is not comfortable coming into a traditional church setting is also able to receive, you know, spiritual support, you know, receive communion, have somebody to talk to, you know, when they're having that crisis. So we're extremely excited about that.
So the heart of Almost Home is Christianity. It is based in religion and faith. That's what Sarah's base, and that is your base also.
Absolutely. So we always say when we bring somebody on board is that you don't have to be a Christian. You just have to be comfortable knowing that we are a heavily Christian organization. It's based on faith. You know, Sarah's epiphany to move directly into starting Almost Home was a voice, a message that she got directly from the Holy Spirit. So when we talk about Almost Home birthday, that is actually the day that we were born, was the day that she heard that on the corner of 87th and Cicero. So it is, but we don't require that you be Christian. You don't have to go to church or do anything like that. It's just really a desire to do something for somebody else, but we are rooted, you know, deeply in faith and Christianity.
Yeah. And you still have a young son, Lara, and Sarah has a whole
seven
young children. And I think the lesson in that for us is that many of us think, oh, we'll work hard, we'll save our money, we'll homestead, we'll raise our children, and then we'll give back. Then we'll get involved in charity. Then we'll donate our time. But what you're saying is that you can do something good, you can get involved, and you can donate even your time, your treasure, your talent, even when you have your busy life.
Right.
And I just think that's a very humbling lesson.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about your blessing boxes.
Okay, so our blessing boxes are just mini pantries that we have. We have 4 of them. They are filled with non-perishables. It's a take what you need and share what you can. They become very, very large in the community. The first blessing box is on Sarah's front yard. So, and then we have 3. We actually have another one in the works. We can't say exactly where, but it's going to be super exciting and very central to the people that really do need that assistance. But we just put a call out. You know, if it's empty, we, you know, make a Facebook post and say, hey, you know what, the blessing box in here is empty. Can you help us? And it's filled. We did it the other day, and I was literally within 30 minutes. I was driving home from work to check on it, and it was filled. And there were 4 more people outside that were waiting to fill this blessing box. So
isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. I mean, we figure if at a very, very conservative estimate, if we help 10 people per box per week, which is a lot less than we do, that's over 2,000 people a year.
Yes.
I mean, that's just, and that's conservative. I mean, you're looking more at, we're serving more like 30 or 40 per box per week. So we're getting up to 10,000 visitors each year for 4 small boxes to help the food insecure.
And you have a Facebook page. Sarah started a Facebook page, and it has thousands of followers.
Yes.
And it seems to me that the second she puts out that call for, if it's winter coats, a family needs a particular situation, a bill needs to be paid, people jump right in. So she makes it easy for people to give. And I've often thought that we would all give more if it was a little easier. And how selfish does that sound? But if it's different for somebody to say you should help the poor and the cold in the winter, then do you have a men's size warm coat, extra large, and here's where to take it right now. So she's so specific,
very specific
in her needs, because she's on the streets with her people and knows what they need, that she can make it that bit easier, which is why she has such a successful following, and because she herself is such an inspirational person.
She's so inspirational, and the part of the beauty of Almost Home is that our supporters and followers know that when they give, it's going directly to those in need. You know, there's not some faceless entity in the middle. It's going directly to them. So when Sarah gets up and says, I need a pair of size men's 10, work boots, we get those, the replies right away, because she is specific and she tells the story of the person. You know, we don't give away identities, of course, but she tells the story of why we need them, and her voice and her way of wording things and her direct connection to that community makes it very, very easy for people to give.
Yeah, yeah. Now tell me about the hair cutting, traveling store, shelter events.
Yes. Once a month, we partner with a local shelter, and we have some volunteer hairdressers. They give their time, our stylists do, and they come out and they provide hair cutting, grooming, beard trims for the shelter guests. They know who they're going to be serving, and they're more than welcome to do it. During that time, they will go into, we set up, we call a traveling store. So it's just a large room filled with personal needs, shoes or socks or any type of hygiene items that they need, and they can just freely shop for whatever it is they need. So they get the grooming, they can pack up their bags with what they need, they get a meal, and then during that time, Sarah actually will go around to the guests, and she will take specific requests for people. So if somebody needs a gas card, if they need their transit card filled up to get to work, if they need a pair of work boots or a nice outfit for a job interview, she will take that, and then she'll shop during the week, put out the requests, of course, for things we need, and then she'll go back the following Saturday and deliver all the items.
And I think you bring up another important point, Lara. Sarah and the organization doesn't just help those who are on the streets. She helps families struggling.
Right.
They may have a home, but they can't make the rent, or they can't pay the utility bill, or someone has lost their job. So she will go to families who have a financial need, maybe even a temporary one, and reach out to her community of givers and get that taken care of. And I would imagine that that is certainly an underserved population, because we don't even know, typically, we don't know that someone can't pay the rent until they're homeless, until they've been evicted, whereas this is divine intervention.
It is. And we're all, a lot of us are all just one paycheck away from a financial disaster. We never know what's going to, to cause that. But we have a very detailed application process. We have a lot of programs in place. Sarah has a lot of contacts out there. But it is that. So when something happens and you call us, if we can help, we're going to do that. So they say that, I think the statistic right now is that 70% of households pay more than half of what they bring home just in their housing. And that's just in housing. So when you take everything else into consideration, so we can't help everybody. We wish we could. But we have said, you never know. It's not the assumption that, that they could have avoided it. Yeah. We don't go that. We don't judge. See, we don't judge. That's
that. Yes.
We don't judge. It's we ask what's going on. If we're able to help you, if our supporters are able to do that, that's what we do. But we go into it. Sarah's requirement is to be a part of Almost Home. Is that the first thing is that we have to be able to make decisions on requests for assistance without being judgmental, and it's not always easy.
No,
it truly isn't.
But the need has to be real, regardless of the cause. But no matter how someone has got themselves in that position, they're in that genuine need for help now, and that's where Almost Home steps in.
Yes.
Tell us about your newest initiative, the Loaves and Fishes Closet.
This is amazing. So Loaves and Fishes is a closet. I'm not even sure how to. So Patty Ellison, our lady that runs our drug prevention outreach, she was in contact with a local recovery home and halfway house in Blue Island, and decided to install a closet, or let us set up shop inside there, and then it's filled with necessities. Pillows and socks and shoes and whatever you can think of as these men are coming in, a lot of times with nothing but the clothes on their back. So we did the same thing. We created an Amazon wish list, put it out there, and literally within an hour, everything was gone. So we did just open that one in memory of Patty's son, Aiden. And that will be done. We're also looking at another one at a local state-run nursing and rehab center. to do that. And then I think Sarah's got something going on in memory of her father, who was a great artist. So yeah, these are brand new. So it's just ways, we get a lot of inquiries as far as how can we help, what can we do? Yeah. So when we have these programs set up, you know, it may appeal to someone to say, you know what, my company can do that. We can keep, you know, we can keep that filled. We can do that.
An ongoing donation.
It's an ongoing donation
donation
because we get a lot. We get a lot that say, "Hey, what can we do?" And it's hard to really nail that down because we're doing that one-on-one outreach, and we have programs that are actually, you know, in process right now.
Yeah,
it's a way to have other people help.
And Lara, I know that you personally have a great compassion for those that are incarcerated, for when they leave prison, and for the families of those who are incarcerated. So tell me a little bit about your personal vision for that.
My personal vision for that. So I work in retail, been in retail for a long time. I'm currently going through certification as a lay minister in the Methodist Church. So my vision is to, within 5 to 7 years, that's what I want to do. So I want to be able to be in ministry full time and work in the secular world and do that. So prison ministry has always been something that I thought that I wanted to do in some way, but being with Almost Home, the families that are struggling to survive while their loved ones are incarcerated are really who needs that help. So as on both sides of the fence, I can provide some spiritual support as well as access to programs and help them get through that time with their loved ones, because those are the ones that are really suffering, you know. So again, we don't, you know, for whatever reason, you know, your loved one is there is not of concern to us. We just want to make sure that you're able to survive that time.
And you've certainly walked through the fire yourself personally with your son's physical, mental health condition. Tell us a little bit about your son's condition, the journey you walked through, and how that informed you about the needs that some people have and about reaching out to help others.
Sure. So my son is 15. He is a freshman at Evergreen Park High School, and at age 7 in 2011, he was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome and some comorbid conditions that come with that. And because it's such a misunderstood and really a rare disorder, we had to fight the school, not so much fight, but we really had to educate the school district, and we had to get in there. And we had the Tourette Association of Illinois, who was a super great help. We've got some support systems out there for new parents. But we went through a period of time from second, third, and fourth grade where it was just a horrible time for my son. There was no understanding. We were going through some changes, and things were, it was just really, really tough. I mean, we're doing great now, but so during that point in time, I had to take some time off work, and my house went into foreclosure. So it took me 2 years, but I did get out of foreclosure. I've been in there for 11 years now. I worked really hard to do that, but it was just this time, and during that time I had so many people that would just a pat on the shoulder, or are you doing okay, or it's gonna be all right. So when everything went better for my son, now I had time, because before that it was just 24/7 trying to get him through the day and make sure that he was okay and people were educated. So once he started just flourishing, which he has, that gave me the time to say, you know what, I can do something for someone else. And I did a number of things and joined my church, and then of course with Sarah. But it was it's very humbling when you are in that position, and then when you see somebody else, you know, struggling, you know, I can help people now. So people that are facing foreclosure, I've been through the process. Yes. Maybe we can't save your house, but I can walk you through the process, and I can help you do that with dignity.
Yes, and I'm sure they're amazed to think that someone who looks as successful as you are maybe once was in their position.
For sure.
We had recently on the show Karen Yarborough, who's the clerk of Cook County and a lawmaker for many years, and she said she would visit women in prison, she would talk to them, and she would say, the difference between me as a lawmaker and you as a lawbreaker is that I didn't get caught. And these women would be amazed that a politician would be admitting to them that she was maybe once a little more like them than they would realize. So I'm sure for the community you serve, for them to know that your backstory is that you were there one time too, that you were in difficulty, that you faced some of the problems, they probably, that gives them a sense that you're not judging them, you're not looking down on them, and you don't see them as a completely different species.
No, not at all. Because we are all the same.
Beautiful, yes.
Everyone in Almost Home has that personal connection. They have something within them that draws them to the missions. So to have so many of us there, it's really nice to be able to reach out to whoever, and we have somebody on the team, and we're a very small team, 5 of us, but we have somebody that can reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, I know what you're going through.
Yeah, but that 5-person team, look at what you have done. You've raised so much and served so many people and grown, and you just continue to grow. So tell me what you, Lara, have learned about human nature with your own experiences, your difficulties, and your community outreach.
Absolutely. So the first thing that that I learned is that we as a people have a very large misunderstanding of what our homeless community truly is. The reality is that 35% of our homeless population are families with children. You know, we have 1 in 30 of our children in this country are homeless, and over 50% of them, they're under the age of 5. So what we're looking at as far as the makeup of the homeless community is not what people think. And the second part that I've noticed a lot as I've been working with Almost Home is that our supporters, and we have thousands, and we couldn't do that. We can't do it without you. So they don't realize that every dollar truly does help. We get a lot of messages that say, I'm sorry that I could only donate X amount of dollars.
$5 or $20.
You know, that they're almost embarrassed to donate, feeling that they're not doing enough. So that's a huge thing, is that, you know, we try and get out there and say, you know what, we appreciate truly every dollar. So, and they want to help, but they don't know how. So Sarah makes it so easy.
Yes.
She makes it very easy. And our third part that I've really looked at is our younger generation. You know, they're dismissed as, you know, a lot of times as lazy and entitled. These kids want to make a difference. And we, as the adults, we have to do a better job encouraging that. You know, so when your child comes to you and says, I want to make a difference, I want to do this, I want to help the homeless, I want to help somebody, you know, it's our job really to encourage them and help them walk that path and stand alongside and say, I'm proud of you. Because these children in our generation, these are our future.
Yes.
And they have a lot of great ideas. So definitely, as you know, those of us that are getting older and are going to pass the baton down to the younger generations, we really have to do a better job of helping them do that.
And what else will you add to that footprint on the world that you will leave, Lara?
You know, I think Mother Teresa, the other Mother Teresa, always says, she says that never worry about numbers. Always start with one person, and start with the person that's closest to you. So our goal, our vision is to be able to inspire somebody. If I inspire 4 people and they do 4 people and on and on and on, we can make a difference. So it's whether it's 15 minutes helping us clean under the bridge, if it's a $20 donation, if it's a $1,000 donation, it's important for us to let people know that they are making a difference in the lives of others.
I love that. I love that if you start with those around you and everyone else works with those around you, that you can truly reach the whole world.
You can, right? If everybody just works with one person, yes.
That's a wonderful takeaway. And viewers, Almost Home needs the support of the community, businesses, organizations in order to be able to fund their mission and vision and to change the world. So if you have time, treasure, or talent and you're moved to give, Lara is now going to tell you how you can reach them.
So you can reach us the fastest through our Facebook page at facebook.com/almosthomeschicago.com. We do have our website up and running, has a lot of information. It is www.almosthomeschicago.org. And through there you can see our story, you can see what programs that we're running, you can donate, you can see what we need, look at upcoming events and volunteer opportunities.
Thank you so much, Lara.
Thank you, Eileen.
For your work with Almost Home, for sharing its story with us today. Thank you, viewers, for watching, and we will see you next time on Where the Road Rises.